Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back everyone. This is day 4 of our 30-day sales growth live series. I'm your sales mentor and coach Bharat Ogirala from the Sales Gurukul. And today we're going to talk about something very practical, which is going to be how to write messages that actually get you replies. That's the topic for today. I see some people are still joining in, so we'll just give it a couple more seconds. But before we start, whoever has joined, just let me, do a quick warm up like we always do it, right? So first of all, can you tell me if you are able to hear me and see me clearly? Just type yes in the chat box if you're able to hear me and see me in the chat box clearly. Sorry. Yeah. And then you can also tell me the name of the city that you're joining in from, so that I know, which city has the highest sales energy today, right? Let's see, today's top sales city. Just let me know the name of the city you're joining in from. Third, and most importantly, tell me honestly if you are an experienced sales player or a fresher, in sales, right? Just type in experienced if you're an experienced sales player, or just type in fresher if you're new to sales. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. See, I want you to listen to today's session as a sales professional and not as a student, right? Because messaging is not a small skill. A lot of people fumble here, but it is the actual skill that decides how much opportunity you create in your pipeline, right? So let me start with a simple truth. Let me start off telling you that simple truth. Your messages are ignored for one simple reason. Anybody's message, right? You might be sending it to an influencer or a decision maker. If your message is being ignored, there could only be one simple reason. The reason is they are boring. Simple as that. Okay. Now, either they are boring, they are too long, or too formal, or too self-focused. You are either focusing too much on yourself or your company. So that's why most of your messages, it could be an email or a text message or a LinkedIn message, or on social media, wherever you're sending it, it gets ignored. That's where it does. Okay. Now, but the good news is, with a little few more tweaks, right? So if you make a little few tweaks to your messaging, your reply rate can go up even by 2x or 5x, right? So you just need to know how to do that tweaks, and that's exactly what we're going to do today, right? You will see a lot of difference if you make these tweaks right from starting tomorrow morning, right? So if you're ready to learn the frameworks used by the top 1% performers, just type I am ready in the chat box. Okay, I see a lot of new people joining in. So let me just quickly say hello, everyone. My name is Bharat Ogirala. I'm the founder of the Sales Gurukul, a premium sales skill training institute in India. Welcome to day 4 of our 30-day, sales growth series. Today we're going to talk about how to write messages that actually get you replies. Okay, we just discussed about the basic setup. We've not covered much, but now we're going to get into the actual topic, right? Writing messages that will get you replies on LinkedIn, email, or WhatsApp, anywhere, right? Uh, so let's start this. So today I'm going to give you very simple messaging frameworks that will work across platforms. It could be LinkedIn DMs, it could be WhatsApp outreach, it could be your emails, inbound follow-up messages, or cold introduction messages. Any of these, right? All of these frameworks are built on one simple rule. Nobody likes long formal and paragraphs, right? So nobody likes those lengthy emails or lengthy messages, or 3 4 paragraphs in an email. Nobody likes to read them. So we'll need to keep it very crisp and concise. People reply when the message feels natural, respectful, and relevant. So let's break this down. All right. Now I'm going to tell you, few frameworks. The first framework we're going to talk about is called the 3-line LinkedIn message. Use this whenever you're connecting with a potential client on over LinkedIn. Okay, the first line should always be talking about appreciation. Right. Hi Rohan, I saw that your recent post about scaling your sales team. Congratulations on the growth of your organization, and I saw that you've shared really good insights. So appreciate the customer first, And then the second point or the second line should always talk about the relevance. I work with the sales teams who are facing, similar challenges like yours. So you're relating to what the customer's pain point is. That is very important. And the third line should always talk about soft asking. Hey, would you be open to exchange ideas? No pressure at all. If you're able to strike this within the first message on LinkedIn, I'm telling you it's going to be clean, short, and human. This will get you more replies. And your connect on LinkedIn, the connect percentage or acceptance percentage will definitely go up if you follow this. All right, I'm going to summarize once again for you. This is the first framework that will get you replies or responses on LinkedIn and more connect ratios. That's called the 3-line LinkedIn message. The line one will always have an appreciation for the customer for something that I've done recently. It could be a expansion of the sales team, or it could be a promotion for them, or they've written a nice article that you really liked. Appreciate something what they've done. The second line should always have relevance, which means I already work with a lot of other sales teams with other companies who face similar issues. So tell them that they are not alone. The third thing that you're going to do is softly ask if they are open to connect with you and have a discussion, and then send it. All right. The second thing that you're going to talk about, or probably the second framework, if I have to say, is WhatsApp outreach. What you do not, what you should not do ideally is send a lengthy essay emails or messages on WhatsApp. WhatsApp should always be crisp and concise. Okay, here it is. WhatsApp is a personal chatting tool or a personal messaging tool. So keep it, more on a friendly and a conversational tone. Okay, don't make it very, very formal. So for example, if I'm messaging, let's say, Anita, right? Hey Anita, I hope you're doing well. Just a quick question. Are you exploring ways to increase your sales team's conversion percentage? Right? So ask about a specific point in a very not too formal language. I won't say very casual, but not too formal language. Okay. This mode works because it is a question, it is short, it creates curiosity, and also it respects their time because you're not writing a lengthy message, right? That always works. The third framework that we're going to talk about is the email that gets you replies. We spoke about LinkedIn, we spoke about WhatsApp. Now we're going to talk about emails that will get you replies. Okay, it's called AIDA, AIDA mini format. Okay, that's the I would say acronym of it, and we're going to talk about it. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, now this is how you can use it. You're sending a email to somebody, and here is your subject line, right? It should be very short and crisp, right? Quick question about your Q1 targets. Let's say we are in the Q1, right? So let's talk about Q1 targets. So quick question about your Q1 targets. That's your subject line. Now, what comes in the email body? First, A, attention, which says, I saw your team is expanding and you're hiring aggressively. That is your attention. Number two is I, interest. A lot of companies in your space are looking for ways to improve their closure rates, right? And the third one is desire. I recently helped a similar company like yours improve their pipeline quality. Action. Fourth one is action. Now what you could say is, would you be open for a short call, probably about 5 minutes or a 7-minute call sometime tomorrow? Again, it is very short, direct, and relevant, so people will respond back to you. If you write lengthy emails explaining everything about your company, your product, your services, your purchase value, and everything, nobody's going to read those lengthy emails. So keep it short and simple. All right. The next framework that you're going to talk about is follow up messaging, right? There needs to be a magic line in your follow up message. This line works, on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and email. If you just say, use this line, right, as is, just checking if you've got my earlier message. If not, no worries, I can follow up later. Right. So the first email obviously will have a brief summary of your product or company, etc., or services. And the first follow-up that you're going to do will have, hey, Bharat, I'm just checking in to see if you've got my earlier message. If not, no. If not now, no worries, right? I'm going to follow up later. Which means you're subtly telling them that you don't want to trouble them right now, but you want to make sure that they've received your message. Okay, now this reduces the pressure and increases your reply by about 30 to 40%. Okay, so try this out. The framework number 5 is the you focused rewriting, right? You need to change, a few things in the way you write your messages. First thing, I want to introduce my service. Never say this. Instead of using I want to introduce my service or company, say this: I notice that your team is focusing on XYZ this quarter, right? People reply when they message you about them, not you. So make sure your message is always about them. All right. And finally, remember, people will reply to clarity, not to confusion. People reply to relevance, okay? And people will reply to simplicity, not complexity. You need to have a simple message for your customer. And then people reply when they are respected. You respect your customer by talking about their pain points, not bragging about your product or your company. All right. Now, if you start applying these small little frameworks that I just spoke about tonight, you will see a huge difference starting tomorrow. Now, what I also want to do is, I want to take up some questions. If you guys have any questions, please type in the chat box. I'm going to look at them and then answer each one of them for you. I'll take some questions now. Okay, somebody says, how many times should I follow up if I don't get a reply? See, the minimum follow up is at least 3 times, right? There are, situations depending on the industry and the product size or the ticket value and the relationship that you've built on a customer with a customer. There are situations where you can follow up until 5 to 7 times, but the minimum is at least 3 times before you give up. Okay, 3 times. And whenever you're following up, make sure you follow up with value. Don't just send something randomly. Just make sure that you follow up with some tool or a article or a report that helps the customer, not you. Okay. After that, pause at least for, I would say, 10 days, 2 working weeks, and then try following up once again after the third message. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the other question. It says, okay, should I copy paste messages? I'm looking at the other screen also, guys. So I'm looking here and onto the other screen. So don't mind. Somebody is asking, should I copy paste the messages? It's absolutely a no, right? You should have a strong framework for all of your follow-up messages. You need to personalize as much as possible, but never send a blanket message to everybody. You have 300 contacts in your mailing list, so you can send, I mean, if you send all the 300 on the same message, hey, I'm just trying to follow him, it'll not work. Okay, you need to have a crisp, concise, more or less personalized message for everybody, because it is different. If you're really looking for developing your business, this is how you do it. If you just focused on delivery rate and just sending more number of emails, you're not worried about your responses, then you should not do that. Okay, so if you really want responses, you need to personalize your response or your follow-ups. Somebody else is asking, what if they leave me on scene? Okay, so it happens with everybody, right? Then you need to send this. It's a simple message again. No worries. Should I follow up in the next week or later? Somebody, that the customer has opened your email, you get the delivery reports, you get the open reports from your marketing team. Once you see that the email is open but the customer is not responding, you just send them another email. Hey, I see that you've opened my email. It's absolutely fine. Should I follow up next week or probably later? Is this not a right time? Ask them openly. This will reopen the conversation in most of the times. So try it out. Okay. Excellent. Any other questions, guys? All right. So I don't see any more there. So one thing I want to tell you before I close this session, right? Your messaging skill alone can change your. Yeah. You still with me? Yeah. Okay, so this is what I want to tell you again, right? Make sure you're focusing on your messaging very clearly, keep it sharp, crisp, and concise, right? And give a lot of value whenever you're trying to send a message to a client rather than bragging about your company or yourself. Okay, now this is what I want to offer all of you guys. You can actually download my free course. It's called Sales Success Blueprint. This will help you to improve your entire sales foundation. I'm going to cover topics like prospecting, lead generation, lead qualification, how to send the right proposal, how do you message, how do you handle objections, how do you negotiate and close. So I'm going to cover all of these topics in that Sales Success Blueprint. You can go ahead and register for that. I'm going to share the link on my in the description, right after this live session. So next 5 minutes you will have those links. And also I conduct a live session, live masterclass every Saturday at 11 a.m. So you can also register for that masterclass. I'm going to share that link in the description below right after this live is ended. Okay, so just go ahead and grab your seat, because seats fill very fast. I only take limited number of audience in the live masterclass as well, so you can join that free masterclass. Now, yeah, I'm just trying to see one last time if there are any more questions. No, I don't see anything. All right, guys, that's 15 minutes, a little over 15 minutes now. Thank you very much for joining day 4. Tomorrow is day 5. We're going to meet again at 9 p.m. sharp tomorrow. And what we're going to discuss tomorrow is qualification secrets. How does the top sellers filter fast, from their, so many leads that they've got. So whom you need to focus on, how do you qualify better? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow's session. I'll see you exactly 9 p.m. sharp tomorrow. Be there. Until then, happy selling. Have a nice evening.